Hello everyone and welcome to episode 3 of Monifactory. So in between episodes I've been doing quite a bit of work. I've been keeping this EBF running. Got a decent amount of aluminium now. This is going to come in handy for the medium voltage machines. I also spent a little bit of time replenishing all of the resources which I used. So I went to the nether and collected loads of sulfur, and I also spent a little bit of time in the overworld mining iron and copper. And I also decided that it was about time I build a proper setup for rubber. And yeah, well, you can see that this has produced 1,500 rubber sheets. It's pretty decent. So all it does is centrifuge a sticky resin, then chemical reacts the raw rubber pulp with sulfur, and then solidifies the resulting molten rubber into the plates. Yeah, things are going okay for me. I've still got a lot of progression wise to do, but there's one thing which I can do right now which is going to come in really handy now that I have access to aluminium. So I can make the next tier of these barrel upgrades, iron to aluminium tier upgrade. Yeah, I need more space in this barrel because it's starting to get full. Unsurprisingly, I do actually have quite a lot of stuff which is being stored in here. Like, this is all ores dusts. These are loads of different types of blocks, organic matter, then sort of the coins and stuff. I'll get to applied energistics eventually. Now that I've upgraded the chests, I wouldn't mind trying to make one of these not elite mixers, advanced mixers, so medium voltage mixer, because it's needed to produce some vanadium steel, which I need. But before that, I think I'm going to make a circuit assembler and make some medium voltage circuits that way, so that I have at least a few sort of batched up and ready to go. Yeah, so in order to actually get these medium voltage circuits, I need to actually make one of these pyrolyze ovens. I forgot to make it in the last episode, so I'll make it in the beginning of this one. And the recipe of choice for this pyrolyze oven is going to be converting coal into coal coke and phenol, since the phenol is required to actually make the phenolic circuit boards. Oh my, they're both running together, the EBF and the pyrolyze oven. That is good. Well, that was a lot of preparing resources actually for all of these medium voltage circuits and soon medium voltage machines. So yeah, let me just share how much I've basically been making. Yeah, so this is the chest where I've been making loads of components because I know that I'm going to need all of these. So the vacuum tubes and the resistors, these are going to come in useful for making the low voltage circuits. I've also prepared 2 stacks of resin printed circuit boards. The recipe for this now, this was the recipe which I'm using. It's just copper foil plus planks and some glue now that I have the centrifuge making glue for me. So yeah, all of this is going to come in very useful. And I've also been preparing loads of diodes also for these medium voltage circuits. yeah, so using some of these diodes and the circuit boards, and the phenolic circuit boards, I can now make 2 medium voltage circuits, the good electronic circuit. And then I'm going to use this, I'm going to straight away craft this into a circuit assembler. And if you're also curious about the textures for these, this is the texture pack which Threefold has made. So yeah, basically all of the textures is basically making them look more modern, but having the older version as the theme, pretty much. At least I think that's what he's doing. But oh, look at that crafting table up there. Yeah, I really like them. They look so good, especially the animations for these conveyors. Like, actually, yeah, these are all of the textures. So these are like all of the components. So these are motors, pumps, regulators, conveyors, pistons, robot arms, field generators, emitters, and sensors. Oh, they look so good. I'm really enjoying the theme of them ones. They're helping, it's making it easier for me to actually find things, let's say, compared to the other textures, because they're very unfamiliar. Yeah, anyway, this is a circuit assembler. Quests are good. Don't forget the quests. I can now use this circuit assembler. Oh, that's neat. It shows the entire name if you hover over it up there. I can now use this circuit assembler to craft some circuits. More specifically, the low voltage ones are going to be what I make first. So for that recipe, it's the resin printed circuit boards, 2 stacks of resistors, 2 stacks of vacuum tubes, and 2 stacks of red alloy wires. That's getting muffled. That's way too loud. So yeah, circuits. And I can use this barrel up here just to queue up everything. So another thing about this circuit assembler is this is the most efficient recipe I can actually use now for the circuits. So instead of, I was making them, I think it was 1 at a time in the crafting table, and it uses 1 extra red alloy cable for it. It now produces 2 with the same amount of components effectively, and a little bit of extra soldering alloy. So making it inside this circuit assembler is very, very important because it's more efficient. And plus, who doesn't love, well, the animation on that also looks cool. Who doesn't love batch crafting things? Like, fully batch crafting a stack, well, 4 stacks of low voltage and 1 stack of medium voltage circuits. And while I'm waiting for things to craft, I'm also going to share some of this building which I've done, because I haven't really shared it up until now, and I also want to show sort of how I'm actually building things. So yeah, this area, I'm starting to get used to actually use different shapes, thanks to all of the stuff which I've done. What is that, in GregTech New Horizons? I have learned that, I don't know, just things like this, different shapes, something to occupy the space a little bit more efficiently than just leaving it open. Yeah, small things like that, for me, it just makes it look more decorative compared to just leaving it as an open space and there not being anything in the center. And plus, underneath here, I'm also using one of these feral flare lanterns, so that just lights up area. I think it's a 16 block radius in each direction it will light up. So I don't need to place any torches. As you can see, they're invisible light sources. So that's even better for keeping things lit up. And I have a plan over here. Not yet. I'm still working on actually building this, but I want to have some of the phytogenic insulators over here in this area. And I'm also going to be doing some of the rock breakers which I need for some passive resources. Like this tuff, for instance. Although I can't actually get that until medium voltage there. I cut out the bit where I tried setting this up and then realized it's actually a medium voltage recipe. So I'll be able to make this actually once I get medium voltage machines. Because of Creative Flight, they're basically, well, I have a couple of options from sort of moving around while I'm actually building. And I stumbled across something which is, it's a bit quirky to be able to use, but it does still do its job. It does allow me to build things vertically and is quite helpful. Yeah, I'm talking about, it's from the Rehooked mod. This one, this red hook, so it's really not too difficult to craft. Just redstone blocks, chains, and iron hooks, which is just a bunch of iron. Really, iron and wood. Iron, wood, and redstone is all of the ingredients for this. But this one in particular gives creative flight within sort of the area of the hooks when they're actually attached to something. It's like when I fire this, if I get that on the top block up there, it'll pull me towards it. You have 3 hooks with this. If I get another one here, I can basically, it's creative flight in this radius to be able to actually get more movement, which makes sense for the 3rd hook. If I shoot you over there, it's now this area I can move in, creative flight. Which is quite helpful actually, at least until I get proper creative flight. But yeah, it's a bit wonky, and if you try to go outside of the range, see, it won't let you. So it is limiting. Basically, it's only within the hook's range. But still, I still think it's worthwhile for something to invest in before creative flight, before the angel ring. So I've decided to go for this Fluxbore for the next part of the episode. But in order to actually make that, I need to make one of these medium voltage mixers, and this is a follow-up on the medium voltage circuits. I now have excess of these, so I now can do this. Something to keep in mind with this energy converter, because this is a 4 amp one. Technically, I can't actually supply enough power with these energy conduits. So these can only output or input 512 RF per tick per connection. But this converter can actually accept 2048 RF per tick. So at the moment, I can only power one machine, assuming it's running at 128 EU per tick. But for my application at the moment, this will be perfect, just to help me get a little bit of vanadium steel. Well, this is a worthwhile adventure to go down here, because the flux drill from thermal expansion is so much better than the Great drills. Yeah, it does just need the vanadium steel to be able to make the steel drill head. Then you can just convert that into a thermal series drill head. And then a Fluxbore, finally. Yeah, this thing's going to be really fun to mine with now. So not only does it actually, well, firstly, it's being charged by my flux capacitor. So I'll be able to mine a lot longer, and I shouldn't need to wait that long for this to actually be charged. And to actually make this Fluxbore even more ridiculous, you can augment this in this Tinker's Workbench. So I'm going to be adding reinforced integral components. Not like that. Go in the tool, not the workbench. And I'm also going to be using these radial enhancements, which will basically increase the range which the Fluxbore can actually mine. So having 3 of these should mean a 7x7, I believe it will mine. Yeah, you can change using the keybind the actual range of this flux drill. It's a 7x7, 5x5, 3x3, or just a single block. And I've also decided to actually make one of these, what are they, tool belts? Because I think, yeah, it's similar to, oh no, this is actually the same as what I used in supersymmetry. So this will just allow me to actually swap the tool I'm using if I press and hold R as the key I have bound to this. And I can also, okay, well that's a good start for this. The first time. Oh, wow. Yeah, as I was saying, you can enchant this. So I'm aiming for hopefully Fortune 3, Efficiency 4. Maybe? Fortune 3 Unbreaking. Okay. So that will be more efficient at using the energy, I believe. Right, so I'm in the redstone mine. I have to give this a try out and share it to everyone because this thing, it's going to be good. So it is relatively slow to mine things. I still have yet to find an efficiency 3 book to put on this. Well, not efficiency 3, efficiency 4 or 5. But this should be able to mine a 7x7, and it will also do it offset, so I just need to hold it on this second block. Yeah, it's kind of slow. You look at the area which this will mine. Oh my goodness, this thing is nuts. This is a 7x7, which this is mining. This is going to speed up mining so much. Yeah, that's quite impressive. So this is a 7x7. This is brilliant. Just a massive crater inside this redstone mine. Just that strip has netted me this much redstone, actually. So yeah, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time here. I'm gonna mine up some more redstone because we are actually low on redstone. Okay, so I'll be honest with everyone. It's been about a week since I last was actually recording. Yeah, so long story short, I was ill, so I wasn't able to record. So I basically, over the past couple of days, I've just been sort of tidying up the base and sort of keeping things going. Unable to record because I just really haven't been feeling like speaking. So I'll share everything which I got up to. I went and finished the building in this blast furnace room. Looking quite nice now, actually. I'm really liking the theme which I'm actually picking for the base, especially the colours. I went over here, so this is the plan for the HNN room. So I'm going to have simulation chambers on this side with all of the pristines and the generalized matter for all of them. Then on the opposite side is going to be the loot fabricators. That's the plan. Although I'm pretty much waiting until applied energistics before I actually sort of go full-fledged automation for everything. Because all of this stuff I need to set up, what is it called? Yeah, this stuff, the pulsating prediction matrix, PPM. And I also redesigned the sugarcane room because I was actually starting to run out of sugarcane. And also, this is calcite. I really like the color of this, and it goes really well with like the deep slate and the crypt variant 15. Yeah, I like the look of it. It goes really well with everything. And then over here, this was quite fun actually building this. So these are all of the different colored flowers. Now these are important for me because they can be crafted in the dyes. So all of these have a corresponding dye, and this should mean most of the dyes I should be able to craft. I'm still missing the Wither Rose. Yeah, this one. This will give me access to black dye, which is the last one in the list, and that should mean that I should be able to make every color of dye using this setup. And I've also added a couple of phytogenic insulators for some various woods, rubber, and the cherry logs, just so that they're on passive. And behind me, you can see these are the rock breakers. So I think I said in a previous episode that I was waiting on medium voltage to actually be able to make these. Yeah, I'm medium voltage now, so I can actually make them. So the top and the bottom one, they're producing tough and calcite endlessly. Since the tough is being used for the floor and the calcite, I'm starting to use sort of scattered everywhere if I want a bit of light color. Oh, it's finally here. Applied energistics. I mean, it's a pretty primitive setup, but it's going to get the job done. Now comes the time. This is probably the most satisfying part of getting applied energistics, is emptying all of these chests inside here. Oh, I have missed applied energistics. This is so much nicer. This is the crafting terminal, so I'm going to be able to actually request things in here. So if I need to make, I don't know, let's say MV machine hull, that needs to change. How do you change that? No, do not sync with JEI. Yeah, that I don't like it when it syncs to JEI. So yeah, if I wanted these machine casings, I can just do this. Oh my, that is so much nicer. Yeah, let's form MV machine hulls. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is good. And there's something else which I can do with this ME system, which I'm also really excited to be able to do, especially in 1.20. Yeah, so coating these ME glass cables with rubber in the assembler, this will produce ME covered cables. Now you may be wondering why I'd want to cover these ME glass cables with rubber to convert them into the covered cables. Well, converting these inside an assembler again with conduit binder will produce so many ME conduits. Like, the conversion for this is more than double. So every 3 ME covered cables converts to 8 ME conduits. And that's what I'm going to be sending around everywhere. Yes, so these conduits can be placed like this along with the energy conduits. And this is so good being able to do this because they share the same block. So I'm going to be running this around pretty much every part of the base using these conduits. And I think I'm going to also start doing this so that I have ME access sort of around all of these machines. So I've just basically placed another crafting terminal underneath here. So I still have access to everything which is currently being stored, at least until I get auto crafting. Auto crafting coming soon, TM. So I think this is a pretty good point to wrap up the episode, because yeah, I've done all sorts of things today, and I've also managed to recover from an illness. So I'm happy that I'm able to actually start recording again. So as always, thank you everyone for watching, and I hope to see you all again in the next episode of Monifactory. I nearly said it. I nearly said the wrong one.